Today, we are honored to have with us Dr. Brian J. Grimm, President, Religious Freedom and Business Foundation, Utah, USA. He was previously Director of Cross-National Data and Senior Researcher in Religion and World Affairs in the Pew Research Center's Religion and Public Life Project. He is an expert on global religious restrictions and hostilities, as well as international religious demography. He is an affiliated scholar at Boston University's Institute on Culture, Religion, and World Affairs and Georgetown University's Religious Freedom Project. He holds a doctorate in sociology from the Pennsylvania State University and is co-author of the Prize of Freedom Denied and the World's Religions in Figures. Sir, very, very warm welcome to you. We are privileged to have you here with us. Now, I request you to share your thoughts on the topic. Over to you, sir.
Sorry. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be with you. I give you greetings from the United States for its morning time, and good evening to all of you. And I'd also like to thank the MIT Peace University for your wonderful work on peace and bringing these different spheres together. It's unique in the world, and it's an honor to be part of it. And also Dr. Karad, I thank him for his leadership, and then my co-speakers this morning sharing their wisdom and their ideas. So again, it's an honor to be with you. Thank you. So this morning, I'm going to talk about the practice, not the theory, but the practice of connecting religion, science, and philosophy. And I'm going to use the example of some of the biggest and best technology companies in the world and how they are bringing these concepts together. So these include companies like Google, Dell Technologies, Texas Instruments, and Intel. So what are they doing that's bringing these together? So in the first place, these companies have taken policies and actions to make their workplace faith friendly. Friendly so that people can talk about their faith, they can share their faith with others, they can learn from others, and share those ideas. So I'll use some examples from the Intel Corporation. And I choose Intel because according to the measures that we do, we produce a index on corporate religious equity, diversity, and inclusion, or the READY Index, where we measure the degree to which companies are, you can say, faith or religion friendly. And the Intel Corporation is not only the top company in the United States among all the Fortune 100 companies, but the leaders of their company, CEO Pat Gelsinger and Executive Vice President Sandra Rivera, are recipients of our Global Interfaith and Business Peace Award that we give in collaboration with the United Nations every 2 years. So what are they doing? So at Intel, they have what is called employee resource groups. So these are employee-led, company-sponsored groups that people of different identities can come together and support one another. Intel has 7 going on 8 different groups for different faiths: Hindus, Christians, Muslims, Jews, Baha'i, Sikhs, and so forth. And they also include atheists and agnostics as part of that mix. So what are these groups doing? So on the first hand, they make a welcoming place. So if you're a person of one of those faiths, you have other colleagues who are supporting you. You can converse with them. Second, they're working together to build networks between the faiths. Now, that's sort of on the religion side. So how does it affect the science? Well, I'll give an example from the leader of the Muslim group at Intel, his name is Hadi Sharifi. And Hadi originally came from Iran, and he came to the United States. He's a senior engineer, PhD. And in Iran, as you may know, Baha'i face many difficulties. But in the United States, there's more freedom, and he got to know the leader of the Baha'i group. And he had never met a Baha'i. He didn't even know the problems Baha'i were facing in his home country. Today, they're best friends, and they're collaborating and working together to solve problems at Intel. I'll give another example of just the business case, also using Hadi Sharifi. So within these networks, the Christian group, the leader of the Christian group at Intel, these are global groups with chapters all over the world. So the global leader of the Christian group was talking to one of the members in Costa Rica. And that Costa Rican member got assigned a new project to develop a whole new program for Intel Corporation in Malaysia. So he realized, well, Malaysia, it's a Muslim country. This guy from Costa Rica, he's a Catholic, like I'm a Catholic. But he said, I don't know anything about Islam. I don't even know any Muslims. How can I work in Malaysia and be successful? So the Christian head was good friends with the Muslim head, Hadi Sharifi, and he connected the two of them so that Hadi could start to coach him on understanding religion and how it impacts society, how it impacts business. So right there, you could have had a whole scientific and technical program fail because of a lack of religious understanding, but because Intel opens the workplace to let people of faith express themselves and bring, as Hadi Sharifi says, your whole soul to work, then these kind of problems that you're working on in a business or scientific realm find solutions because we work together. Now, let me give another few examples. Every year we have a large meeting called Dare to Overcome. And at Dare to Overcome, we build allyship between different faiths among people in business, and we have a special concern for people with disabilities. So we also reach out and network around that. This year, our keynote speaker was from Microsoft, and he was the head of AI, artificial intelligence, and site. So he was in charge of all of the Microsoft AI projects that will help with any kind of visual aspects. Interestingly, he himself is blind. And he's also a minority faith. So he was our speaker talking about how AI and faith go together. And his conversationalist was a Christian theologian from Scotland who has written a book on the theology of technology. So you might not know that a book is written about that, but he was, these two had a conversation about the ethics of artificial intelligence, bringing in their values, their philosophies, their theologies into the discussion, which Microsoft welcomes, because these ethical concerns coming out of faith also will impact the success of any products or services that they develop. Now, the last set of examples I'll give have to do with how when you allow faith to come into the work, come into what seems like a scientific environment, it results not in just good business, but also compassion for our fellow man and fellow women. So 2 examples, Dell Technologies. So at Dell Technologies, they also have this same kind of employee resource group structure where they have Muslims, Hindus, Christians, Buddhists, Jewish people, and others having groups, but within an interfaith coalition. Now, as you may know, in all these large companies, they have many groups, not just for religion, but also for gender and for race and for disabilities and other topics. So at Dell, the interfaith group working together identified that human trafficking, modern day slavery, was a terrible problem affecting millions and millions of people. Because of their compassion, bringing that with them to work, they proposed to Dell that they have a global campaign to counter human trafficking. And you may wonder why a tech company does this. Well, any company has many powerful resources to change the discussion in society, because businesses are the crossroads of culture, creativity, and commerce. You put all that together and they have solutions. They can come up with solutions for some of the most difficult problems. And you have some of the greatest scientific minds working in these companies, so they can also turn those same brilliant minds to solving social problems. So at Dell, they did a global campaign that involved all of Dell, and their vice president for human resources was thrilled. She jumped out of her chair with happiness that because the faith groups took the lead, the company did something they never did: get everyone in the company working on a social impact project. The last company example I'll give is American Airlines. American Airlines is the partner with the Religious Freedom and Business Foundation in our global Dare to Overcome initiative. And they partner with us to bring people together. So American Airlines' motto is caring for people along life's journey. And they not only have these same employee resource groups, but American Airlines also has chaplains. So at airports, but also in the company. The chief flight controller, he's an airplane pilot. He controls all the planes flying around the sky, around the world. He's also an Anglican priest. He wears a clerical collar to work every day. He's a priest, a chaplain, and a chief flight controller, and quite a scientific man. So in that workplace, as they've dealt with COVID-19 pandemic, the spiritual resources coming from people within the company are so important, because you don't come to work and leave your problems at home. That's, whatever problems you're feeling at home or in society, you feel them at work too. You can't close your life off. So companies like American Airlines partner with us to build these bridges. They also have flights to India, and they're looking forward to bringing this Dare to Overcome project with us in 2023 to India. So that's something we're looking forward to. Now, the last thing I'll share is the philosophy that describes these kind of initiatives. So there's a new concept that captures these ideas together, and it's called covenantal pluralism. So covenantal pluralism, you might know both words, but you've never heard them together. Covenantal means we agree and make a pact that we agree on something, and pluralism is that the rich diversity within society is set free to be unique and contribute. So the idea is that we covenant people who are different, whether you're different religion or different race or different gender or different abilities, that we covenant together to stand up for your rights and your beliefs and behaviors, whether or not we agree with them, but we know they're important to you. And then the other side does the same for others. So we stand up for each other's rights to believe and behave according to our values and our faith and our inspiration. So that covenantal pluralism is what we see happening in these big and very successful companies. And so that philosophy in itself has much work. And I'll just conclude. It mentioned that I'm in Utah. I'm actually usually in the Washington, D.C. area, and we're working with one of the United States best business schools, the Marriott School of Business at BYU, to implement these philosophies into the curriculum for students and then help share them in the business and technology worlds. So I think that this is a lot of good news, maybe something that most people aren't aware of, that companies can be faith-friendly. But of course, in India, from many companies have people of different backgrounds, different religions working together side by side. So it's not unique to the United States, but in the United States, it's quite a new movement to have faith welcome in these companies. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share, and I look forward to the ongoing discussion.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for explaining the practical aspects of religion and science. And the examples that you gave, it made the session very, very interesting. Thank you so much for your address, sir. Now, may I request Dr. Dhanashri Tarkude, Assistant Professor, HR, School of Management, to express the gratitude. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Archana Chaudhary, madam. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the participants in the 7th World Parliament of Science, Religion, and Philosophy across the globe. On behalf of Reverend Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Garad, sir, UNESCO Chairholder, Chief Patron and Founder President, MIRE's MIT Group of Institutions, Pune, India, Honorable Shri Rahul V. Garad, sir, Managing Trustee and Executive President, MIRE's MIT Group of Institutions and Executive President, MIT World Peace University, Pune, India, along with the entire organizing team of 7th World Parliament of Science, Religion, and Philosophy. I, Dr. Dhanashri Tarkude, take immense pleasure to express our gratitude to Honorable Dr. Brian J. Green, President, Religious Freedom and Business Foundation, Utah, USA, on the occasion of 4th day of 7th World Parliament of Science, Religion, and Philosophy, under the session 5, having theme the role of religion in modern scientific culture and consciousness. What a good fortune that we have got a chance to listen to Honorable Dr. Brian J. Green, who firmly believes that faith and business build a better world. Sir, you spoke about practice of connecting religion, science, and philosophy, and shared various industry examples such as Google, Intel, Microsoft, Dell, American Airlines. You shared facts and business examples about AI and faith, human trafficking, which was very interesting. We are truly thankful to you for your words of wisdom. Thank you for enlightening us with the concept of covenantal pluralism. Truly a great insight. Once again, on behalf of Reverend Professor Dr. Vishwanath D. Garad, sir, Honorable Shri Rahul V. Garad, sir, along with the entire organizing team of 7th World Parliament of Science, Religion, and Philosophy, I wish to express our gratitude for these informative deliberations and enriching us today. Thank you so very much, sir. With this, I hand over the session to the anchor, Dr. Archana Chaudhary. Over to you, madam.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dhanashri.